To that point, to our next guest, the president's crime crackdown is also creating a storm in the Windy City. ICE enforcement is expected to start up in Chicago today, while leaders there are threatening to take action if the National Guard steps in. But what do residents want? Let's ask one. Chicago resident Cata Truss is the director of the Community Roundtable. She's also a former Chicago school board member. Cata, thanks for coming on with us today. Really appreciate it. I've seen you commenting on this issue on other shows on Fox News, so you're a perfect guest here. You know, federal troops, as we know, are supposed to land in Chicago sometime today. As you know these numbers better than anybody, over Labor Day weekend, 54 people were shot, 7 people were killed. The former head of the Chicago Police Department broke the numbers down like this. He said every 4 hours, someone is shot, and every 20 hours, someone is murdered. So how does the governor say there's no crime problem there?
Well, first of all, let me make a correction. I am not a former member of the Board of Education. My husband is.
Okay, thank you for that.
But the fact of the matter is this. This is basically smoke and mirrors. You know, people don't want to see crime go down, I feel like, because there's money in crime. There's money in the disinvestment of communities. There's money in people not being able to fend for themselves and take care of themselves. I like to call these agencies that go out and get these government funds poverty pimps. That's what I call them, because basically they're getting money to provide services, and oftentimes you can see by what's happening in the street that's not happening. So you have people, a contingent, who really don't want to see crime go down. And the fact of the matter is, our mayor was a strong component of defunding the police here in the city of Chicago. That was something that he fought for. And he was asked the other day, if you were given money to hire more police officers, would you take it? And he could not give an emphatic answer, even though crime is riddling this city, regardless of what you hear him say. And just this morning, there was an attempted carjacking where a suspect was killed about a block and a half from his house and 2 blocks from my house, because I live about 3.5 blocks from him. So when I hear them say we're going to stop it, why would you want to stop it? I just listened to someone talk about what's happening in D.C. and how the streets are beginning to look like Mayberry Street. I want that for my community. I want that for my neighborhood. I don't understand why Governor Pritzker and Brandon Johnson doesn't want that. And, you know, you got people who are talking about safety and talking about crime who have 24-hour security. If I had 24-hour security, I probably wouldn't be that concerned about it either.
Yeah, and Cata, you know, when you say there's a small element of people there who want to keep the crime going because, you know, they're profiting off of it, that's a group of people, right? But what about the everyday resident like yourself? Tell us what you're hearing about what everyday Chicago residents are saying about the idea of federal troops coming in to work with the local police to try to get crime under control. Is that something they want?
We want it. We want it. But see, our mayor has just put an executive order in place where our police officers can't even work with the National Guard when they're here. So if they see a crime committed or a crime is in process, I don't even know that if they call the police would even respond to them, which I think is crazy. I don't understand why you wouldn't want the help. The citizens, people like me, we want the help. Now, let me just say, I'm not at all comfortable with having armed guards on the street. None of us are, but I'm also not comfortable with living in fear. I'm not comfortable with the fact that earlier this year, my husband was carjacked right in front of my house. I'm not comfortable with that.
Well, I don't know who would be comfortable with that. Right, exactly. Exactly. Quick question before I let you go. You know, a lot of people say this is just purely political, that if it were Barack Obama sending in the National Guard and federal troops, that the governor would welcome the help. Just a quick answer. Do you think that's true?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Definitely political.
All right, Cata Truss, thank you so much for joining us today, and we wish you a peaceful weekend. I hope it is one there in Chicago, and we'll look forward to chatting with you again on this topic.
Thank you.
Hey, it's Will Kane. Click here to subscribe to the Fox News channel on YouTube. It's the best way to get our latest interviews and highlights. And click to subscribe to the Will Cain podcast for full episodes right now.